Hello, this is Ms. McLean, and I'm going to show you a homework question from Chapter 3, Section 2 that features the empirical rule. Okay, so let's read our problem. Lunch break. In a recent survey of 655 working Americans ages 25 to 34, the average weekly amount spent on lunch was $46.01. So that's important. The average, meaning that's the mean, that's mu. So if I were you, I would jot down mu equals 46.01 because that's important information. If we keep reading, it says with standard deviation, $2.70. So I would also write that down. So standard deviation, that's our sigma, $2.70. The weekly amounts are approximately bell-shaped. So this key phrase, bell-shaped, is an indicator that we can use the empirical rule to answer our questions. Okay, so again, bell-shaped, it has to say bell-shaped for us to use the empirical rule. Okay, so we are going to answer all three parts together. Let's look at part A. Estimate the percentage of amounts that are between $37.91 and $54.11. Okay, so I'm going to switch my screen so that you can see my scratch work for part A. All right, so you can see I already have the important information written down. I also have the question that they're asking us for part A. And then as a reminder, here's that empirical rule. So within one standard deviation from the mean, that belongs to 68% of our data. Within two, that's 95% of our data. Within three, that's 99.7% or almost all of the data. So of course, the entire bell curve, the entire bell shape is 100%. So that's why it's super close. It's almost all of the 100%, okay? All right, so anytime you have an empirical rule problem, I advise that you draw this picture. Now, you don't have to put the mu and the sigmas, but I do recommend that you do somewhat of, the percentages to remind you that, hey, this area belongs to 68%. And so we're going to begin with our mu. Mu is going to be in the middle. And within one standard deviation of our mean means that I'm going to take my sigma and I'm going to add it to my mean. Okay, so that's going to give me the right side. And then, of course, I'm going to subtract that sigma from my mean to give me the left side. Okay, so I'm going to do that using my calculator. So I want to add sigma to it. So plus $2.70. So that gives me 48.71. And then I'm simply going to change that addition sign to a subtraction sign. And that gives me 43.31. Right, and so I'm color coding it just to make it easy on your eyes so you can see what's going on. Feel free to color code it to yourself. You don't have to though. Right, so now I'm going to go back to my mean and I am going to add sigma twice, which you can actually add it twice or you can do plus 2 times the sigma. Let me try putting them on light. There we go. So you can see it a little bit better. All right, so that gives us $51.41. And now, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, shoot. Oh, well, that's okay. So I'm going to retype it. So 46.01 minus 2.70 minus 2.70. All right, so this is the left side, $40.61. And then, of course, we want to do it one more time. So I'm going to go back to my mu, 46.01, and I'm going to add sigma 3 times. And that gives us a total of $54.11. And now I'm going to change those plus signs to minus signs. All right, so that gives us $37.91. Right, so now that we have this created, all of our questions are going to be answered based off of this information. Okay, so let's look at our first question. It says, estimate the percentage between $37.91 and $54.11. So look, there's that value. Here's this value. So green belongs to 99.7% or almost all. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch our screen and place our answer in that blank. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to Alex. So let's do, it's a drop down menu. So you can see they've got, looks like they have 3 of the empirical percentages. So 68, 95, almost all are empirical rule percentages. So be careful with these other 2. Those are actually Chevyshev's rule. So I'll do Chevyshev's rule in a different video. Okay. All right. We had said almost all. Let's check our answer. And we're good to go. Okay. So part 2, estimate the percentage once again of the amounts between $40.61 and $51.41. Okay, so if you look down at your scratch work, if you're following along, you should better answer that. Okay, if not, let's go ahead and take a look at my scratch work. Right, so they said $40.61 and $51.41. So that's my blue, and that belongs to 95% of data. Okay, so let's go back to Alex. So bear with me. Right? And we want to choose 95%. Perfect. Let's take a look at the last part. And this time it says between what 2 values will approximately 68% of the amounts be? So this time they're giving us the percentage. We have to type in the monetary value. So the data items. Okay, so I'm going to go back one more time so you can look at my scratch work. And so I know it's 68%. So my solution is the data item. So we're going to type in $43.31 and $48.71. So you can see we actually used everything. We used all parts of our picture for this problem. So again, I want to encourage you, draw a picture when it comes to the empirical rule, and you can't go wrong. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and type in our monetary values, so we can be done with our question. All right, so let's check. And it's correct. Okay, so if you've got any questions concerning the empirical rule, don't hesitate to send me an email.